Hello friends, this is Kamaljeet Singh, registered migration agent from Aussizz Group, Collins branch. Today we are doing live session about having your questions in regards to migration or any other kind of visa matters. First of all, guys, I'll be discussing today about is any kind of courses you want to have a question in regards to. What majorly I'm focusing on trade courses in this session. Moreover, we'll be discussing about Victoria round, which has happened last week. What is the trend Victoria is following, and what do we expect in future? So let's start upon with guys. First of all, thanks for joining. To all the viewers, it's a long weekend in Victoria from tomorrow, and most of us are already on the ways, having a great time with our colleagues and friends and family members. So while you're enjoying this session, let's move on to discussion about the courses, guys, which I'm more focusing upon is the trade course. Trade courses, why I've chosen this topic is we have seen most of the candidates who are focusing on studying in Australia are more preferring, nursing occupations. They are preferring, occupation related to basically when we talk about social work, teaching sector is one of them, which has gone into a very sort of a huge demand in the international students because those are one of those courses, who have been, attracting international candidates for studying in Australia. So guys, trade course is a course which focuses more on trade occupations. It can be commercial cookery, it can be motor mechanic, carpentry, tiling, plastering. We have also seen bricklaying, and all other courses which are related to trade, more focusing on building and construction industry. So if you are one of those candidates, who are not interested in going into nursing pathway, who are not interested into going into, social work pathways or teaching pathways, because that kind of scores which are required in English, proficiency are not basically met, then I'll probably advise you that this particular, industry trade is normally more beneficial for you guys in coming future. Reason we are seeing that most of the candidates or the ministers are making statements that they are not able to make enough houses due to shortage of labors and all those kind of things. So I'll probably say you let's go on to studying the trade courses, choosing a proper state, and then getting easier PR pathways. First trade course which I want to discuss about is motor mechanic. So why? Again, cars are pretty important. Cars are like our house where we are living in. We've got all our stuffs around moving. Sometimes hidden things are seen under the car seats. Pretty funny stories. Everybody likes to own a car. The type of weather Australia has, we have seen more cars rather than motorbikes. So always advised to candidates, if you've got that passion about learning cars, if you've got passion about understanding this sort of industry where we say, okay, motor mechanic industry, this certificate 3 in automotive is the starting bit for you guys. So guys, again, we are seeing that comments have started coming in. I'll try my very best to answer the comments one by one to most of the candidates. If I'm not able to answer your comment, accept my apologies. So while we are discussing about this motor mechanic course, guys, as of advice, certificate 3 is the minimum requirement. Moving on to certificate 4 and diploma. This particular course will lead you to motor mechanic sort of qualification. Furthermore, for permanent residency pathways, you have to do a job ready program, where you'll be getting the skill assessment as a motor mechanic. When I'm saying the word skill assessment, is a piece of documentations as a migration skill assessment required for a candidate to show in which skill they have been assessed. So motor mechanic is the occupation. If you guys are more into, okay, I'm a motor mechanic, but I want to do something else, so I'll probably say electrician, course can also be add on if you've already studied motor mechanic course. Auto electricians are one of those popular occupations as well. Not many candidates love to go into those occupations, because we have seen, guys, people like to follow each other steps when they are going into these visa processes or studying any kind of courses. So keep that thing in mind, guys, that if motor mechanic things are not working out, auto electrician is one of those steps, or one of those occupations, which is pretty rare in industry as well. And we have not seen too many auto electricians studying this course and going on to choosing this pathway. So this pathway can be one of those good pathways as well. Let's take one of the comments. Nitesh Ratnani is saying, sir, I have 95 points for 190 and 90 points for 189 as a chemical engineer employed in Western Australia. How are my chances, and can I expect an invite by the end of the year? I understand it is not going to see. Nitesh, you are sitting on very good points, my friend. Your occupation itself is one of those unique occupations. When it comes to engineers, we have seen mechanical, electronics is one of those common sort of engineering occupations, but chemical engineer itself is a pretty unique. But looking into Western Australia, they like to invite construction engineers first. So yes, you've got a very good chance. Again, what we are expecting there is whether you can get an invite or not. I'll probably say hope so, because now states are becoming active. Maybe feels like they were in a coma from last 2 to 3 months. Now they have gone on to waking up from this coma, and now we are assuming that in coming couple of more months, especially Christmas, you might have a great news. Maninder is saying, what are the chances for motor mechanic with 70 points for 189, 75 points 119 Victoria, and 85 points for 491 Victoria in Western Australia? Currently in Victoria, do I need to move states for better chance, or where do you recommend? See, Maninder, considering Victoria is one of those states who does not like inviting candidates, when it comes to trade occupation. We have seen invitations given by Victoria, last week, which were more focusing on, occupations regarding IT, regarding engineering sector. We have seen nurses. We'll be also discussing about a pattern, which Victoria we have normally seen Victoria is following. But in your case, I'll probably say Western Australia might be more suitable. But again, it's too early to say, because these are, still early stages of getting the invitations from the states. So I'll probably say let's wait a couple more, invites from the Victoria. If 491 still the trend, what the trend was the last year, if it still says the same, I'll probably say we need to switch states. Okay, moving forward, Sanjeev Agarwal is saying, what happens after submitting form 1023 and any time of reward? So again, Sanjeev, it's a piece of information which you are giving the department. Okay, if department feels like, okay, they need to contact you back, they'll contact you, or else information has been received. Accounting points, you are saying 60 plus 15. We have got Dhinisri here. 60 plus 15, is there any chances for 491? Dhini, I'm assuming you are talking about Victoria State. Victoria State has invited accountant occupations as well for 491 and 190. So there are chances, but considering your points, I'll probably say they are a little bit less. If you can push yourself a little bit more, go on to get achieving more score in a PTE. You can follow our PTE tutorials app, which basically guides you through obtaining those scores, which is superior English. So I'll probably say yes, there are chances for 491, but whether the points are good, I'll probably say the answer is so you are in Western Australia, Dhini. So considering Western Australia has been one of those states who have invited candidates who have been living in Western Australia, still I'll recommend you to go on to increasing your points, because when it comes to states inviting candidate, guys, they always are very tight in giving the invitations to especially occupations like accounting. So I'll probably say they need try and increase your points, especially with English. AV Rajput is saying, as a farmer, I want to know how to immigrate to Australia. What are the necessary documents? Except bachelor's, should I have to apply better skill assessment as a farmer? Definitely. AV Rajput, farmer requires bachelor's sort of a qualification, and then work experience. Apart from that, if you're not holding that qualification, then I'll probably say other visa options would be much better. Mayank is saying, chances for offshore engineer manager at 75 points in 189 or 18 190. Occupation is a good, Mayank, so there are strong chances. But again, I'll probably advise you, if you're sitting offshore, let's go on to applying all the states for 491 as well, because we have seen in past, guys, that people who are basically going on to focusing on only 190, and then suddenly we are seeing that they are not being invited for 491 or either 190, because they were only sitting with one application. So I'll probably say we can apply for 491 as well. So whatever you get, I think because you're coming from offshore, 491 is good as well. And Nitish Singh, can we expect state allocations for 190 increase in second half? See, again, Nitish, that is a pretty political sort of a question. We do expect something like this to happen because, again, Australian community is relying on migrants, especially when we are focusing on Western Australia being, one of those biggest states of Australia. There are chances they might be increased because Western Australia, we have seen in last year as well, they were requesting to the department to increase the seat allocations for 190 and 491. Quickly, guys, I'll go through with the, just give me 1 second. All right. So moving on to topic, which was Victoria, guys. Victoria has given the invitations as well. So invitations were more focusing on what kind of occupations and on what points we have been invited. So Victoria made a big invitation round. Let's go one by one with the occupations which Victoria has invited. So first of all, I'm focusing here, guys, is occupation called accountant. Was invited on 85 points. The candidate was onshore, means was in Victoria. So yes, invitations were given by Victoria for 491. Just allow me some time, guys. I'm just having this funny thing with TikTok. Just give me 1 second. Okay, so we were discussing, yes, accountants were invited for 491, guys, with 85 points. 491 was given to 100 points. We had chef invited for 491 as well. 75 points, 80 points, 80 points. A developer programmer on 90 points for 491. We are discussing 491 in visa at the moment. All the applicants which I'm mentioning now were onshore. Engineers, electrical, engineering technologists, business analysts, quantity surveyors were invited between 75 to 90 points for 491 onshore. Registered nurses were also invited for 75 points. 491. It's pretty confusing why this candidate applied for 491 being a registered nurse. Again, preferences, candidates can choose. Moving on to 190, we have seen registered nurses, and apart from nurses, we are seeing software engineers, software testers. We have seen one invitation given for 190 on 95 points. So guys, we are seeing this, Victoria in the previous financial year did invited candidates, which were more focusing on, IT sector, health sector, teaching sector. For some reason, we haven't seen any teachers being, invited for 190 or 491, basically state nomination. Now, again, guys, this when we are using the word inviting, this is a pre-invite given by the state to apply for the nomination. We will be still waiting for the final invitations. Moving on to, I've got one question, enrolled nurses. No, we haven't seen any enrolled nurses being invited. It's pretty, sort of funny, guys. Even the registered nurses who are being invited, we are seeing that, guys, the registered nurses who are having superior English are given higher preferences. When I'm saying a superior English means 8 in each. So, guys, keep that thing in mind, that if you are going on to, thinking that, okay, I'm a registered nurse, 7 each should be fine. Yes, but down the track, sometimes you'll see that there are stronger candidates who like to, have extra points and all those, higher points, I should say, not extra points. So in that case, what happens is then there are less chances for you to be invited. So even if you are a nurse or any other occupations, we are seeing this trend by Victoria that most of the times we are seeing, number one, superior English. That means a candidate does has 8 each in English. Secondly, we are also seeing, guys, that the candidates who are basically having a skilled partner are also being invited for 190 and 491. So guys, just keep this thing in mind, that if you are focusing upon that, okay, we want to go with Victoria state nomination, I'll probably advise you that we go on to studying and practicing more about 8 each. Apart from that, if you are having a skilled partner, it's pretty good. All right, moving on to discussions about other occupations. Apart from that, we have seen mechanical engineer being invited on 90 points for 190. The candidate was onshore. In Australia, food technologist being invited for 95 points for 190. ICT security specialist being invited on 85 points, 190. Now, guys, remember, sometimes it gives you that side of a thinking that, okay, well, I've got a similar sort of points, why I'm not being invited. It could be various reasons. I've already mentioned. Number one, you might be not having superior English, and number two, you might not be having a skilled partner. We have seen this trend that Victoria likes to invite candidates who are having skilled partners, mostly. And secondly, Victoria also like to invite candidates who are having superior English. Clear? Moving forward, guys. Again, it's good to have these kind of invites, even if it is not your occupation, because at least something is happening rather than nothing is happening. It was pretty exciting news for candidates who are in Victoria, but candidates who are following trade courses, guys, we have to be switched on, because we are seeing that Victoria State is only preferring chef occupations. Even the last financial year, we were seeing that most of the occupation which were invited were trade occupation were chefs. Other than that, we haven't seen any kind of other occupations being invited. We are not even discussing 190. We are focusing on 491. So if you are a trade occupant and occupation holder, and then you are thinking, okay, should I invest my time in Victoria? I'll probably say, think about it, guys. If there is another invitation round for 491 and you guys are not invited, I'll probably say it's time to switch states. Let's go on to some other states where there is more preference given to those candidates who are working in their nominated occupations and stuff. So this was Victoria, guys, giving invitations for 190 and 491, and hopefully in coming some time period, we are seeing that more occupations will be invited as well. More occupations will be invited as well. So we are also discussing about teaching and social work. So from our own database, I'll probably tell you, we haven't seen any teachers being invited for Victoria 190. So let's assume that in coming time period, Victoria will be focusing on giving us more invites apart from health sector, apart from IT sector. Keeping that thing in mind, guys, remember, number one, that you must try and obtain superior English. If you are not obtaining superior English, sometimes it gets pretty hard to get the invitations. Number two, we are looking for skilled partners, so there are chances. We are saying one of the comments from any chance in community workers. Yes, there are chances for community workers as well, because we have seen invitations being given by Victoria for 190 for community workers, but this particular round, when it took place, none of the community workers have been invited. So we are assuming that in future there are chances. Hi, I'm having 75 points. I'm working in my normal occupation, 60K. Any chance? Santosh, depending on what kind of occupation you are holding, it will be a very question that what sort of an occupation, what kind of that package, whether it matches that sort of an occupation or not. Points are still not too bad, but when I'm saying occupation, that means if it is a trade occupation for 190, the answer might be no, because Victoria is pretty strict with the not inviting trade occupations. So let's take a couple more comments, guys. We'll start with Evie saying he's doing a job in pharmaceuticals. She has got experience. For which occupation she may be eligible as a chemist or other. Avi Rajput, again, when we are giving you discussions or giving you advices on regards to what kind of an occupation, we have to review your qualification and experience. So practically it would not be possible for me to make a comment onto that question. Tina is saying, I've been waiting in Victoria with 95 points for 190, still no news. Since I've been living and working in regional, what are my chances for 4-1? Occupational is architect, draft person. I was told that mainly considered applicants with skilled partners and priority occupations. Is that the case for 491 as well? See, again, Tina, when we are considering about 190, I would say yes. 491, I would say it's a gray area, because with 491, even with the last financial year, there were so many occupations which Victoria has invited, apart from nursing, teaching, community working. So yes, you've got strong chances for 491. So I'll probably say, if you want to stick with, I'll probably say Victoria State, 491 would be the option. What about hotel motel manager in South Australia, latest rules? See, again, guys, with South Australia, we'll be having a session done by our registered migration agents from South Australia, but I'll give you a little bit of a hint upon this, that South Australia, has made an announcement. They have opened up their migration program, but what they are saying is they have followed a ROI system again, like Victoria. What they are saying is that you must be working in your nominated occupation in South Australia. You submit your ROI, and we'll see whether if you are those type of candidates who are working in priority sectors, will be invited first. So again, South Australia has also gone into this kind of, a gaming situation or a gambling situation where ROI selection process has been followed by the state as well. I'm assuming maybe New South Wales might be coming up with this ROI system as well. So what most of the states or these programs, are trying to do here is, guys, they are trying to attract more people who are focusing on their, working in their skilled nominated occupations. So if you are in any kind of a state, guys, it's always good that if you go on to, working in your skilled nomination, still nominated occupation. We've got one comment. Could you please tell me if any chances for New South Wales 190? I've submitted to you already. See, again, New South Wales are on their final stages, 5911. So I'll probably say there are high chances. Just stick with the state, and hopefully you'll be invited for that. Victoria 190 ICT business analyst, 90 plus 5 points, no experience. Chances again, Ketan, your points are pretty good. There are chances, but with no experience, I'll probably say it's a question mark, because there might be some stronger candidates who are sitting before you. So we might have to wait a little bit. Moving on to, hi sir, RN 75 points, age care, 6 months experience, New South Wales. As I'm saying, guys, that New South Wales is on a final stage of opening up their nomination requirements. So I'll probably say, stay where you are sitting. If you're especially into nursing category, you might be having a invite soon. If no, then Victoria can be one of those options, because Victoria loves to invite nurses. General accountants, 80 plus 5, 190, chances are high. As I've mentioned you, we have seen 185 points candidate being invited as an accountant general. Your package salary is also a nice good read. So I'll probably say stick with Victoria, and let's see in coming rounds how they're going to react upon. Okay. Talvinder is saying, hi sir, after 190 South Australia grant, can we move states, and does it make any effect on citizenship applications? Guys, again, when you are going on to this submitting state nominated visas, 190 and 491, there's an obligation to the state to spend at least 2 years with that particular state. So in that case, if state ended up pulling out the nomination, then it might be a concern. But again, we haven't seen most of the states doing upon this, so again, it's totally up to the state, and they do have this power to get your visa cancelled, especially if you are not following these obligations. Let's move on to some other comments, guys. We have got Sanjeev saying chances for welfare working with 70 points. Again, guys, with New South Wales, we are still waiting upon, and hopefully we are expecting them to open up soon, because most of the states are open now. We are waiting upon New South Wales. Hopefully they'll give us a good news as well, and start inviting candidates in for 190 and 491. All right, can you explain work experience for 481? Is it compulsory to be continuous? 482, 2 years of work experience is required, and 186, 3 years of work experience is required. I'm not sure what kind of that word continuous means. So again, guys, moving on to a recap of this session. Victoria, did an invitation round where we have seen accountants have been invited. The invitation round was done this week. Accountants have been invited. We have seen IT candidates have been invited. We have seen engineers have been invited. Yes, of course, everybody knows that nurses have been invited, but surprisingly, we haven't seen any teachers being invited. So again, sometimes, people might start panicking that I'm studying this graduate diploma of teaching. Why Victoria is not inviting me? I'll probably, tell you guys that in next couple of rounds, we might see teachers being invited as well. Second tip, guys, if you guys are in those sort of an occupation which requires higher points, for example IT sector, and you are sitting on something like 70 points, I'll probably advise you to switch on to 491 rather than 190 excuse me, if you're in Victoria, because there is no point trying to get onto that visa if practically your points are not there. So I'll probably advise you we stick with 491 rather than 190. Okay, moving on to Gurpreet is saying, sir, I have only one given name on the passport, no last name. I use Singh in the last name. Do you already any issues? I don't think so. There should be any issue, Gurpreet. You can still send them contact details, change form, so it should be fine. How much time taken for 485 registry? I'm already on last, waiting for last. See, again, graduate work visas now have gone on to extended time for the grant, so you might have an answer soon. I'm studying Master of Project Management. Do have chance of getting PR? So as you are studying masters, we need to understand what kind of bachelor's you have done. That might be leading to PR as well. Give me 1 second. I'm not sure what question was asked here. ICT security specialist, someone is saying with 85 points, including state, living in Victoria, working in IT. ICT security specialist, just give me 1 second, Mike. So we had one ICT security specialist being invited. Let's move on to, this is again, guys, what our migration agents have provided information upon. Was invited on 85 point. So again, Aman, remember I told at the start of the session as well, guys, Victoria are following this pattern. They are, basically going on to inviting candidates who have got superior English. Plus, they are also inviting candidates, who have got skilled partners. So if you're a single candidate, those 85 points would be a question mark, because we already have, single candidates who are sitting on 95, to 90 points. So I hope this helps your question. So again, guys, this was it from my side, guys. And we had a small discussion about, trade courses. We had a little bit of a discussion about updates from Victoria, what kind of invites were given by the states. It's a good news that candidates have been started, getting invitations in different sort of occupations apart from, nursing, because everybody, now are like pretty frustrated with nursing. As soon as we see invites, there's nurses everywhere. So, anyways, apart from that, we have seen food technologists also being invited on 95 points. So this is good to see. So let's assume in coming some of the invitations round being given by the state, we might see other occupations as well being invited. Moving on to just a question mark for trade occupations, guys, we haven't seen any invites apart from chef occupations. So if you are a tradie who has completed his or her job ready program and are looking for options, I'll probably say we might have to start having a consultation with the migration agents to what kind of states is advised. To my best understanding, I'll probably say Western Australia, South Australia would be one of those states, who will be more focusing upon, giving you 190 or 491. So this was it from my side, guys, a small session about what has happened this week in regards to Victoria 190 and 491 invitation round. Hopefully we might see another 189 round as well. And everybody, who has been waiting upon eagerly to be invited, let's hope for the best, fingers crossed, and get permanent residency soon. For further information, I'll probably advise you to go to your registered migration agents in Aussizz Group. We have all the branches in different kind of states and New South Wales, Western Australia, Queensland, Victoria, so, and South Australia as well. So I'll probably advise you to talk to your migration agents, just have an update, where your file is lying upon, and let's see, in future, what kind of invites are given by the states. While wrapping up the session, guys, exciting news I would like to share with you. We'll be opening up in Geelong and Cranbourne. So if you are close to those, suburbs where you feel like it's too far for you guys to, basically have a discussion with migration agent, you can easily, in coming future, talk to our migration agents opening up, their own offices in Geelong and Cranbourne. So very excited to find out that, Aussizz is expanding, trying to help our team members, our community. So if you got any questions, feel free to shoot us an emails, have a discussion with migration agents, and hopefully everybody is guided through this and gets permanent residency soon. So that was it from my side, guys. This is Kamaljeet Singh, registered migration agent from Aussizz Group, Collins branch. And enjoy your weekend, guys. If you're in Victoria, have fun, drink beer, and don't drink and drive. Have a